Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Sylvana Sarkis is with us, American Classic Realty. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you with. Our audience forgot to even pause on time. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I'd have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I don't know if this is a good one to celebrate or not. Today's National Social Media Day. Now, has the world gotten better with social media, or, does it just divide us more and more? I don't know. You tell me. But it is, as they say, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, National Social Media Day. Today also, 1953. No, I was not around in 1953, but this date in 1953, the first Corvette rolls off the assembly line. 1953, Flint, Michigan. So this day in history, there's not a whole lot of celebrating, so we can birthdays. We celebrate on the birthdays. Gone with the Wind is published on this date in 1936. I wasn't there either. Let's move right along and let's see what's going on in the markets today. Well, we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 140 points. The NASDAQ is up, 322 points. Yeah, we like that. We've got the S&P 500 is up 48.44. Oil down 94 cents a barrel, $69.81 a barrel on oil. Do we want to look at gasoline prices? Well, most of the country is probably pretty excited about gas prices because, $3.85 a gallon is the national average of a gallon of gasoline. But in California,
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, $5.43 a gallon in California. Thanks, Gavin. We like those taxes. I know we like the taxes because we keep voting for them. If we didn't like them, we wouldn't vote for these same people over and over again. But we are at, what did I say, $5.43 a gallon. Josh, you $1 a gallon below us there in Nevada? About $1. We need about $5.40 a gallon, give or take. I'm sorry, $4.40 a gallon, $4.50 a gallon. So Josh is over there in America. So he's $1 a gallon cheaper. So if you need gasoline today, just head over to Vegas and you can get some gas. It'll be a lot cheaper than it'll be here in the formerly Golden State. See what else is going on. Now, we've got a lot of news coming out on the markets. And we've been watching all of this for you. We've told you that the latter part of the week, we're getting all kinds of news. We got the JOLTS report today. I'll talk about that in the Mortgage Minute. We've got the ADP report is coming out tomorrow. The jobs report is coming out on Thursday. Now, normally we get our jobs reports comes out on Fridays, but most of us are taking the day off. Yes, and Josh, we got a question of the day. Okay, here it is. How many U.S. presidents died on July 4th? How many U.S. presidents died on July 4th? That's our question of the day. And should I give the answer? Josh, I still need to get that soundbite for Jeopardy. Where is that soundbite? I know we had it. I don't know what happened to it. But what do you think the answer would be on how many U.S. presidents died? What was your guess?
One.
Okay. I can tell you this much already because we do know that. I think I've got it here. Where is there it is. That would not be the correct answer. So how many U.S. presidents? So should I tell everybody? I think I had it on my screen. Where'd it go? So the correct answer is 3.
Wow.
3 U.S. presidents. And believe it or not, it was all in the early days. So Thomas Jefferson, July 4th, 1826. John Adams, very, very close thereafter, just by a matter of hours difference. John Adams, July 4th, 1826. And James Monroe, 1831. 3 U.S. presidents all died. Now, what do we call that? That's called useless trivia. So absolutely no value to it. But if you're in a middle of a bar somewhere on the 4th of July and you want to have a good trivia question, that'll give you the answer to that question. 3 U.S. presidents died July 4th is the answer right there. So we're watching all of these different numbers going across for you. We've got the FHFA came out with some of their numbers today. You know something, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to have to get to these because there's a lot of data to share with you. But we're going to tell you, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, think home prices will crash? Here's what the experts actually expect. 1 long-term care bill can erase your savings. 8 questions that'll stop that. We're going to chat about probate, veterans, divorce. We got all kinds of things to chat about today, so let's get with it. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely. I guess I should say this is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payment. What did rates do yesterday? Looks like almost all of them were up. Conventional 30-year fixed, 6.419 up. Jumbo 30-year fixed, 6.46. That was up. FHA 30-year fixed, 6.267. That was up. We like this one. The VA loan 30-year fixed, 6.023. That one was down. And the USDA 30-year fixed, 6.228. That one was up. Now remember, those are national numbers. That does not mean it's the right strategy for you. And the best rate at the wrong strategy costs you money. So if you're just out there saying, hey, what's the rate? And that's all I'm doing, you can lose yourself and your family a boatload of money. Let's see what the markets are doing. The S&P 500, that one's up 49.5 points right now. Oil down 80 cents a barrel, $69.95 a barrel. Gold up $11 an ounce. Woo! Gold is at $4,027 an ounce. Do you remember when I told you at 5,200 that gold had gone up way too much and that anything that goes up that quickly can come down that quickly? So think about that. Gold is down about 22% since I told you. Now, I don't give financial advice. I used to do that when I worked at Merrill Lynch, but I don't do that anymore. We are not in the financial advice world, but there are certain principles that hold steady. 10-year Treasury is up 3 basis points, 4.40. The mortgage bond is down 11 basis points. Remember, bond down, rates up. It's just straight mathematics. It's not opinion. It's the way it works. Why is all of this happening? Well, oil prices are, they're just under $70 a barrel. Some uneasiness about the U.S.-Iran peace talks. Does that surprise anybody? Surprise. Yeah, until the president finally wakes up and just sends the troops in there and finishes the job, we're going to continue with all this back and forth nonsense, and we're not going to see anything long term. It's not going to happen. You heard it here first. It's just the way it is. Comes on the heels of back and forth attacks over the weekend. What do you call a ceasefire, when no one ceases firing? I think you call it an MOU because they just understand no one's going to stop. So bonds started lower, continued to worsen after a stronger than expected JOLTS report, the BLS. Generally, that's called BS reports because the Bureau of Labor Statistics never gets anything right. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics released their JOLTS report, job openings and labor turnover for May. Now, remember, we are at the last day of June as we're recording this. This is the May report. What was going on in May that would have job openings? Could it be a lot of hiring going on in leisure and hospitality because of the World Cup? Yeah. Showing there were 7.6 million job openings, which is close to the figures seen in April. 300,000 above estimates of 7.3 million. Big influence from the World Cup with openings in leisure and hospitality up 95,000. Surprise, yeah, I told you that. Accommodation, food services up 62,000. With openings in May higher due to this, it could lead to stronger job growth in the June ADP report and the BLS reports that we get later this week. Be careful. Within the report, the internals were still weak. The hiring rate remained at 3.3%, which is just off the lowest levels since 2011, excluding COVID, which was 3.1%. Quits rate remained at 1.9%, the lowest level since 2014, excluding COVID, and shows that employees are not voluntarily quitting as much because there's much less poaching from other companies due to less hiring. Tomorrow we get the ADP report, be an important report ahead of Thursday's BLS jobs report. Market is expecting 110,000 creations in June. Again, wouldn't be surprised to see a stronger than expected number due to the World Cup influence and rebound we have been seeing in the general labor market. Appreciation data came in. Case-Shiller and the FHFA released their appreciation reports this morning for April. There were some strong gains when looking at the raw figures, but after seasonal adjustments, the readings were relatively flat. Are you not smart enough to understand that there are seasonal changes? Why do they put those in there and they just impute numbers? It is totally stupid. Just give us the raw data. We know that houses sell more in April and May and June. We tell you that all the time. We don't need you guys to manipulate the numbers. Case-Shiller showed that home values rose 0.8% on an unadjusted basis after rising 0.7% in the previous month. That means that over the past 2 months, home values actually rose 1.5%, but because those gains were expected due to seasonality, after adjustments, it appears flat. Year over year, home values are up close to 1%. FHFA, which only measures homes with conforming loan limits and excludes cash transactions, showed that home values fell 0.1% after seasonal adjustments and are up nearly 2% year over year. But again, the raw figures showed home values rose 0.7% in April, 1% in March, and 0.9% in February, for a total of 2.6% in the previous 3 months. Important to understand, if you are buying a home, seasonal adjustments are irrelevant, but rather the raw figures in the values. Hey, if you want to know what your house is worth, all this other stuff, it's national numbers. It's meaningless for your house. rsrlinks.com/myhome. rsrlinks.com/myhome will send you the value of your house every single month. It is your house, not the ones for the whole area, not for the ones for the whole state, not for the ones for the whole country. Your house. Apartment List released their monthly rental report for June, showing that new home rents rose 0.4% during the month. While this is an increase, it's very normal for this time of year. More importantly, rental prices are down 1.2% year over year and have been falling on an annual basis since mid-2023. Vacancy rate has come down slightly from its peak of 7.3% to 7.2%, but has remained there for a few months and still remains relatively elevated. The list to lease duration was 30 days, which is the longest rentals were sitting on the market for June in 7 years. Putting this all together, rent should be helping inflation come down, but it is yet to be seen on a consistent basis with CPI and PCE. Hopefully, Kevin Warsh is able to focus the Fed on real-time measures with his data task force. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. So let's get into our conversation today. We're talking about the tough stuff. So we've got Silvana Sarkis is with us, American Classic Realty, real estate broker, and an attorney. Be careful of what you say. Not giving legal advice today. If you want legal advice, call her and retain her. We don't give legal advice on Ron Siegel Radio. We're just going to have a chat. And if you look at you got, Savannah, you've got the whole alphabet after your name here. Holy cow, JD, CDRE, CPRES, SRES. And I don't even think that accounts for, with all those letters, it doesn't even have all the veteran information in there.
No, it doesn't.
So you got is there anything you don't have in there?
Yeah,
you're a pretty smart person.
I'm not a mortgage person. So.
You're not a mortgage person. Okay, I think we can find one of them.
I'm actually not an attorney. I just received my law degree in 2001, but I decided not to practice law. I'm not licensed by the bar, so I want to make sure that I disclose that.
Oh, okay. So you got the education, just not the certificate.
Correct.
Okay, good deal. So tell me a little. I mean, why did you get all those designations?
So I'm very ambitious. I love learning and helping my clients and my sphere of influence, my partners, to be educated about what's going on in different worlds. And plus, I love conflict resolution. So I graduated law school in 2001. I decided that I went to law school for my dad and mom. Which was a great thing because I use that every day in my real estate firm and boutique. The cool thing about that is every day in real estate, we're working with contracts, we're writing contracts, and most realtors don't understand contracts. But I have basically had 250 people assigned to me as real estate agents and loan officer when I used to do mortgage. And so that's helped me. My degree has helped me tremendously because less than 1% of realtors have their law degree. So,
it fascinates me, the fact that the only time where we can give, where many of us can give legal advice. So a real estate contract is it's a legitimate contract, right? And it's probably the biggest contract most people are going to ever get involved with, unless other than the marriage contract. But that's a different story, right? But
that's a contract.
but you get all these people with no law experience, no contract experience, going out giving advice on a real estate contract or a mortgage contract. Just fascinates me that's the only area where you can really do that legally.
Yeah, I think the bar is very low for the Department of Real Estate. I believe the bar should be set higher. You should have some legal classes. I know there's some classes they take to become a real estate agent, but it sets me apart from many, many, many people having the law degree. So I'm proud that my dad and mom pushed me, and my sister is a big support system for me, my family, and I got it done when I was 24 years old. So now
24 years old, and you had your law degree.
Yes, I did. I graduated law school. It's been 25 years I graduated law school. So now you can figure out my age.
Well, we're going to continue. We're going to get into our discussion on all these different certifications. Conflict resolution. I mean, you don't think about real estate. You think, okay, I got to go buy a house, but how does that tie into conflict? So we're going to talk to Silvana when we come back about that one. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 0186945.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Think home prices will crash? Here's what the experts actually expect. One of the biggest reasons buyers are still sitting on the sidelines is because they think home prices are going to come down. Some believe a crash is coming and they'll get a better deal if they hold off. Others worry they'll buy now and watch their home's value fall later. Nobody wants to overpay or buy right before values drop, but here's the question worth asking. What if the crash you're waiting for isn't actually coming? Because that's what the latest data suggests. If you spend any time online lately, you've seen posts claiming home prices are about to come crashing down. And it's true that some markets are seeing small price declines right now, but that's not the same thing as a nationwide crash. While some places are going through a price adjustment, Realtor.com data shows home prices are still rising in 71% of the housing markets across the country. The trouble is, since negative news sells, you're seeing more coverage about how a handful of markets are seeing declines than how the majority are still seeing prices rise. And that's unfortunate. It's exactly why a lot of buyers end up with the impression that prices are falling everywhere when they're not. So how do you really know where prices are really headed from here? Don't you have a crystal ball? No, we don't have that. That's where the home price expectation survey from Fannie Mae comes in. I love this. This is the best number of all of them. Home prices will rise for the next 5 years. Every quarter, more than 100 economists, housing experts, and market analysts are asked where they think home prices are headed based on the latest data available. And despite all the uncertainty in today's market, there's one thing they largely agreed on. They don't think a crash is coming. In fact, the average of all their forecasts calls for home prices to rise every year for at least the next 5 years. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of home prices forecast for the next 5 years. Yeah, look at that. 1.72% in 26, 1.98% in 27, 2.78 in 28, 3.1 in 29, 3.34 in 2030. The point is that the overwhelming expectation isn't for prices to fall, it's for prices to rise at a more normal pace. And remember, here in Southern California, double the numbers. It's about the way we work. Just in case you're looking at the forecast and saying, of course they'd say that. Know that this survey doesn't just include optimists. It includes pessimists as well. Researchers broke the panel into groups based on how bullish or bearish they were about housing. The result, even the most pessimistic group still expects home prices to climb over the next 5 years. Optimists think we'll see prices go up roughly 4% a year. Pessimists say it'll be closer to 1%. The reality, probably somewhere in the middle, and you're seeing that on the chart right now. Think about that for a second. The debate among experts isn't whether prices will crash, it's how much they'll rise. That's a very different conversation than the one happening across social media. So if you're putting off your move until prices come down, you may be disappointed. According to experts, a widespread crash is not in the cards. In fact, based on the home price expectation survey, a buyer who purchased a $400,000 home this January would gain nearly $40,000 in equity over the next 5 years from appreciation alone, even in the most moderate of markets. And remember, that's national, double it for California. Of course, this all depends on local market conditions. The forecast is a national average, but broadly speaking, if the experts are right, the bigger risk isn't that prices will crash. It may be waiting for a crash that never comes. That might be your biggest risk. Because depending on your market, if you wait, you could be missing out on $40,000 in equity or paying $40,000 more in 5 years for the same house. That's why you need to go and register, rsrlinks.com/myhome. Totally free to you. We give you the values. We give you the things to do this weekend. All kinds of great stuff right there for you. A lot of buyers are waiting because they think prices will fall, but that's not what the experts are saying. If you're trying to decide whether waiting still makes sense, let's connect. That way you understand what's happening in the local market, what it could mean for your plans. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, we are chatting with Silvana. I got to try and got to pronounce it properly.
You got it.
Silvana is with us, and we're chatting about real estate. And most of us never think about the idea, Silvana, about that you think, okay, I'm going to go buy a house, and it's me and the seller, and what's going on there. But the bottom line is, there's a lot of other areas in real estate that are the have-tos. Right? Someone died and you got a probate to deal with, and you got all the other heirs or people that think they're heirs, or getting divorced, and that one could be a whole different ball game. So, what made you get into the idea of this, of all the conflict side of this?
Yeah. So my background is criminal justice and human services, and so I always loved resolving conflict. I think I have like a tough personality, but very compassionate. So those are two different sides. So probate, first of all, when you buy a house, put in a trust. Then you'll never have to deal with probate. Neither will your kids or your heirs ever deal with probate. So I have a network of attorneys that I work with that are my referral partners, financial planners, CPAs, and I work a lot with them, and I educate myself so I can educate my clients. So first and foremost, with when you buy a house as a buyer, you should refer them right away to a probate attorney or a trust attorney so they can write their estate to protect their children. Most people buy a house and they don't think about when they're going to die, right? So then, nobody
thinks about when they're going to die.
No, they're not going to, and we don't know, right? So that's fair to say. But then when the kids grow up and then grandkids are born and there's no trust, and the grandparents are thinking, oh, it's going to just go to the deed, or they're not informed. Then what happens is, when both parents die, now all the kids and grandkids are all fighting. My mom told me this. My grandpa told me I was going to have this. Not only they fight about everything else, but they fight about the house, which is the main asset of the estate. So it's good to have a trust. If you don't have a trust, then it's probate. So certified probate real estate specialist, I've actually met with attorneys and educated them about the process. It's a different process. Not a lot of realtors could deal with it. Sometimes we have to take out the hoarder from the client. Sometimes the client is in their 60s and 70s and they can't move because they have like 25,000 pounds of hoarder. So my team brings a junkyard team. They do
fascinating. Isn't it fascinating when you're talking about the probate world?
Yes.
That, everybody has an estate plan, right? The question is, who's going to decide, right? Like, as you mentioned, the trust, I get to make the decisions,
right? The trustee,
right? Yeah. I get this when I set up that trust, or my wife said, she tells me what I think anyway. But when we create that trust, we're designating.
Yes.
Now, if we don't, then we get to leave it to the state to figure it out,
and it's more costly.
By a lot, right?
Statutory fees for attorneys, court fees, fighting fees, litigation fees. And sometimes if you don't have a good trust, there's litigation fees on trust. So you got to be careful who you hire. Who you hire matters.
Yeah, and you may know this number better than I. The last number I had seen was that 80% of the people that create a trust never fund it.
Yes.
And what you tell me, they
don't maintain it. They don't manage it.
So what value is a trust that was never funded? Basically a paperweight, right?
Yes. But I still think you're better off getting a trust.
Oh no, you have to have a trust, but you have to fund it.
Yes.
Right. If you don't put your stuff into the trust,
correct. Change
the title, and again, if you have a good team that's creating the trust for you, then they should know how to do that, and it should be done. And that's we did a story on this recently about those people that now think, oh, I can just do my trust on AI,
Oh no.
right? And
No.
you might be able to get it started there, but
Mhm.
again, if you don't fund it, did AI tell you how to fund it?
Yeah, it's more informational purposes.
Right. So that's a whole different world. So dealing with the probate world, that's a whole different animal with
Yeah.
that one, because that kind of brings in some of your legal knowledge, right?
Right, right. And that's what I mean, the certification is not hard to get. It's the experience that puts a good, weight on your shoulder. So, like for example,
And that's a key comment right there, is it's
Some-
the experience.
yep. And sometimes it's you have to deal with fixing, painting, rehab, light rehab. Sometimes we advance the costs. My company does. Well, we do. And then we send out people to go fix whatever it is, so we can make it, maybe even stage it and make it really nice, so we can sell it and get the highest value for the estate. And sometimes it's not always a contentious, litigious case, but probate is usually they have to sell because they got to divide that asset.
Well, probate, to me, probate is just a pain in the neck,
Yeah, it is.
right? I mean, you're going through, what is it, about 18 months?
Yeah.
18 months of
during
dealing?
probate. It's right now they're still backed up from probate. So
Who pays the mortgage during that 18 months?
sometimes there's no mortgage.
Okay.
But if there is a mortgage, and then put in a reverse mortgage and a probate and a foreclosure, then you got a really, really contentious case. And most realtors don't know how to use that.
And so probate is not one of those things where you just want to hire the average realtor, your neighbor's best friend's dog watcher.
Yeah, no, or your pickleball friend.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've never used that line on Ron Siegel
Pickleball,
Radio
I need to
before.
get involved in pickleball. Apparently people get leads from that.
You get leads anywhere, right? We're
That's
going to
right.
continue our conversation about
Okay.
dealing with a specialized realtor. Divorce. How does divorce come into all this? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron
Awesome.
Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Best loan on the market that nobody knows about, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Here's a number that stops people cold. The cost of long-term care can run several $1,000s a month, and it can keep running for years. For lots of families, that one expense quietly drains everything they spent 40 years building. So let me say it plainly. The cost of long-term care can run several $1,000s a month, and it can keep running for years. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Here's why this lands on my desk so often. My job is to protect three things for a family: the safety of their money, the liquidity of their money, and the return on their money. Safety, liquidity, and return. A long-term care event attacks all three at the same time. Think about what happens. Someone needs help with daily living. The care starts, the bills start. And if there's no plan, the family pays for it by draining savings, selling investments, or pulling equity out of the home. The money that was supposed to last 30 years in retirement starts disappearing in 30 months. That is why an extended care policy, also called long-term care coverage, is worth understanding. It's one of the tools that protects your liquidity when life gets expensive. Now, I want to be clear about something. I do not sell insurance. I'm a mortgage and strategic debt management guy. When a family needs this kind of coverage, I refer them to trusted insurance agents who do this every day. My job today is to help you ask sharper questions so that when you sit down with one of those agents, you know exactly what you're looking at. So here are the questions that matter. There are 8 of them. Question 1, what types of facilities are covered? A good policy can cover nursing home care, home health care, respite care, hospice care, personal care in your home, assisted living, and adult daycare. Not every policy covers all of them. Ask before you assume. Question 2, what's the benefit amount by day, by week, by month? Find out what care actually costs in your area first, then see if the policy keeps up. Question 3, what is the maximum benefit? Some policies cap it in years, some cap it in total dollars. Know the ceiling before you ever need it. Question 4, what's the elimination period? This is the part people miss. Most policies make you pay out of pocket for the first 30, 60, or 90 days before benefits start. That's money you need to have liquid and ready. Question 5, does it offer inflation protection? Care costs more every year. A benefit that looks fine today can look small in 15 years. Inflation protection costs more upfront, but it can matter a lot later. Question 6, when do benefits actually trigger? Most policies pay out when you cannot do 2 to 3 of the 6 activities of daily living without help. Those 6 are bathing, dressing, eating, toileting, transferring, and caring for incontinence. A diagnosis of Alzheimer's or another form of dementia can also trigger benefits. Question 7, is the policy tax qualified? If it is, the premiums may count as deductible medical expenses, and the older you are, the more you may be able to deduct. You have to itemize, and you should talk to your tax professional. I am not giving tax advice here. Question 8, how strong is the insurance company? You're buying a promise that may not get used for 20 or 30 years. Make sure the company will still be standing. Independent firms rate the financial strength of insurers. Use those ratings. Picture this: a healthy couple in their early 60s, good savers. They have a solid portfolio and a home with real equity. They feel set. Then one of them has a stroke and needs full-time care. Care runs $8,000 a month. Within 3 years, that's close to $300,000 gone. The plan that looked bulletproof at 62 is cracked by 65, not because they did anything wrong, but because they never asked these questions. So what does this mean for you? It means the policy is only half the decision. The other half is knowing your own numbers. How much liquidity do you have? How long would it last if care bill showed up next month? What would you have to sell? And what would that cost you? This is where I can help. And it is where most families have a blind spot. Strategy beats rate always. The smartest move is not chasing the cheapest policy. It's building a plan where your savings, your investments, and your home equity and the right coverage all work together. So one big bill does not knock the whole thing over. Here's the next step. I want to give you access to a free tool called Key Steps. It helps you see your budget, track your assets, understand your real liquidity so you can answer one question. Could my plan survive a long-term care event? Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps, rsrlinks.com/keysteps, and get that tool. And again, if you don't have your estate plan in order, go to rsrlinks.com/estate. That's rsrlinks.com/estate. Map your numbers, then go have an insurance conversation with confidence. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, Sylvana Sarkis is with us, American Classic Realty, and she's the product resolution specialist.
Conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to speak wrong sometimes, right?
Oh, it's a product, I guess.
Product conflict resolution.
And
So-
the clients are the product.
There we go. So tell me a bit. So how does this all fit in with the divorce part?
So I've been doing divorce real estate and sales, but I didn't think there was any designation. In 2018, Alumni Institute, who was founded by Laurel Starks, who's a real estate agent and broker, I believe, in Rancho Cucamonga area. She founded this. She thought that every lawyer should have a real estate agent that's certified divorce real estate expert on their team to provide resources and I'm allowed to testify, expert witness in court. I get appointed by the judge sometimes.
You're not allowed to, or you are allowed
I am
to?
allowed to.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did a 12-week certification program, quizzes and tests, oral test, and it was like a whole semester of law school. I'm not kidding you. It was pretty intense. It's all about conflict resolution, voir dire, how to deal with sellers that are getting divorced. But the most important thing is we have our own code of ethics, and we are neutral and unbiased. So sometimes when a divorce client hires a realtor, the realtor is sided with one person because they hired someone they trusted or knowed. And the realtor, if they're not specialized in divorce with Alumni Institute and they don't have their certification, then they don't know how to be neutral and unbiased. And so that affects the equity of the preservation of the home. So
A lot of specialties in there.
Yes, yes.
I did the same thing with the certified divorce lending professional, and Jody Bruns does things in conjunction with
familiar with that.
Alumni. If I said that right.
Yeah.
Right. So they, one's on the mortgage side, one's on the real estate side. So are you doing that in contentious divorce or in collaborative divorce?
All
of them. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have some stories that
we like stories on Ron Siegel Radio.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to talk about the story that's occurring right now, but I'll talk about one that already passed. The gentleman had $850,000 in liens on the property. He was impro per, meaning that he was representing himself. And the wife was basically had no capacity to operate for herself. So she had a guardian ad litem.
She had a what?
Guardian ad litem represent her.
Okay, I'm a simple guy. What the heck's that mean?
Who's basically, she doesn't have the capacity to represent herself. So the guardian ad litem was basically representing her.
Gotcha.
But the guardian ad litem was also an attorney. And then they had an attorney that's family law divorce attorney. And this went on for 10 years. At the end of the day, the guy put a mouse in the pool to avoid people seeing the house on the open house weekend. It had like termite, it had water damage, it had
holy cow.
Yeah, it had a lot of stuff going on. I think we had 80 showings in 2 weeks. I was appointed by the judge, and basically listed it for 1.295, sold it for 1.480 in all cash.
Wow.
Yes, it was a very difficult. He didn't want to sign anything. We had to get a lessor to sign. A lessor is a clerk of the court to sign the
Sounds like a
all
nice
the-
guy.
all the documents. Oh yeah, he was actually, hurt others. So
Wow.
so it was very litigious. I have one that's worse than that, but I really can't speak about it because it's still active.
Well, something, when you're dealing with conflict resolution and when you've got all these different designations there's all kinds of stories that go on because people can come up with some really weird stuff.
Yeah, it's just
But
good.
let's go to
It's
something.
good people going through a bad time.
Yeah. Let's go to something I think you and I both enjoy. Helping our veterans.
Yes, our veterans. So I'm the president of Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. We have a great thing that just went out. We just flew to the policy conference in Washington, D.C., national, and we got the VALID Act passed by Senate and Congress, which helps.
What is a VALID Act?
Which helps loan officers when they're representing a veteran. Are you a veteran? You check that box, and then it gives them the different loans that is available to them, including the VA loan. We don't have that. So we worked on this for 4 or 5 years. So it's about sitting on the table of the president right now. So hopefully he'll do something about it. But this is good for the loan industry. Like, we need to educate more loan officers and realtors that a VA veteran earned his VA benefit to buy a home. And we should promote that. We should, as a listing agent, if I see a veteran on the other side that's a buyer, I am going to make sure that I really push hard to train that buyer's agent to allow them to use the VA loan, because it's not that much more difficult and it's the better rate and it's low cost. I mean, you can talk about that.
Yeah, the VA loan, I call it, if a loan officer, we got two different issues, right? First off, you got real estate agents that see VA loan and they don't understand it, so they don't like it.
Yep.
Which is common for most of us, right? Most people, that which we don't understand, we don't like. But the VA loan is actually the best loan on the market. And I call it malpractice. Any loan officer that does not ask about military service as one of the first 3 or 4 questions. I mean, after a person's name, does anybody in the transaction have military service?
Yeah, I mean, they served our country. It's an earned benefit. For me, it's all faith, family, freedom. So
Yeah, you look at that and you say, okay, if you don't ask, now I don't say it's always the right loan, but it's always has to be looked at and evaluated because it is such a great loan. It's a great tool. And if you don't understand it, it's the best when it comes to appraisals, right? It's the best appraisal process there is.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, if the other agencies would follow the VA for appraisals, and the VA wants the veteran to own in real estate,
Yes.
right? They want that, so they're going to bend over backwards to make it happen. So I love it that you're focused so intently on helping the veterans because, especially, I say it all the time. I do a conservative radio show in a very, very liberal city or a liberal state. We couldn't do that if it wasn't for the men and women of the military who give us that right.
Correct.
Right. And you hear people say, well, they're not making a down payment. They made the biggest down payment of anybody.
Their life.
Right. They put their life on the line.
Right. I just was Arlington Cemetery and seeing all these, soldiers from the 1800s, 1900s serve our country and die for our freedom. It's just I get chills every time I think about it. But the VALID Act is going to be really awesome for loan officers and the real estate industry. If you want to get involved with veteran VA rep, we have an Orange County chapter. I'm the president. I have like 7 wonderful, beautiful board members, and we're having a golf tournament. Can I pitch that a little bit?
Go ahead.
August 31st, golf tournament. You can, if you don't golf, come and enjoy lunch with us and market and network with other people. It's one of the funnest golf tournaments ever. It's in Tejares Creek, August 31st. Tee time is 9:00. You can call me if you need anything. I'm the chair of it. And we raised $32,000. And I want to say that money does not go wasted. We've actually housed about 6 veterans this year. Took them off because they were waiting for the VA voucher. We took them off out of the homelessness and put them into a home for a month. And we sponsored them. And we sponsor about $1,000 for each veteran until they get their vouching housing, and then they can go live there. So it's pretty awesome.
Great stuff. We're going to have more information on that because I just learned about that as well. So we're going to make sure that we have more information on that, and we'll have it on our website and all of our social channels. But Savannah, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you sharing with us and all that you're doing. in these different conflict things, but in my world, in my opinion, more importantly with the veterans, because those are the men and women that put it on the line so we can do what we do and we have the freedoms that we have as we get here into the
yes. We're celebrating
celebration of
250. Yes.
As always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks for all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.